It's the first week of February 2026. And I've had many conversations over the last couple of days alone where people told me that 2026 started in a very unexpected way. Lots of, well, life-changing events. For example, some people I know lost their jobs in the first weeks of January. Others actually got sick. That includes me. So this year started in a very different way than all the last years. And many people are now at a junction wondering, now with all of these changes that already happened, what am I going to make of this? And going back to, of course, our topic of this podcast, who do I want to be in 2026 and how can I become the person that I want to be in 2026? And so this is why in today's episode, we are going to focus on understanding where we really want to go, how we can identify that, and then we will give a few tips and tricks along the way for you to really get clarity on what 2026 is gonna be for you. And of course, as always, I'm not alone. I am here with Abba. Good morning, Abba. It's wonderful to see you again. How are you?
It's so great to see you. And I feel like I need this episode more than anything else because my January has also been very different to what I expected. And that's just the nature of the world right now. There are so many shifts happening across levels, whether it's politically or whether it's from technology. There's so much going on. So I'm really happy that today we're really discussing how we can basically center ourselves again and decide how to move forward in this world where everything is so dynamic. And I feel very privileged to have you to myself on this call, sharing this conversation. So please tell us if we have faced a massive change in January. And that actually doesn't have to be just a change, it could just be um, a feeling has shifted or an expectation has shifted because maybe some have gone through big change, maybe some are feeling something different as well as to what they expected. Where do we begin to start recentering ourselves?
That's a beautiful and very important question because it also goes back to, let's say, the influences that we are under, especially at the moment, because as you said, things are changing so fast and oftentimes that change has a lot of impact on us. So the ability to take a step back and to just listen inside ourselves is something that many of us actually lost. Many people that I talk to, especially in my coaching conversations, they are telling me that they are rushing through their day. They don't know what to do next because the to-do list is so extremely long and it's mostly expectations from the outside. So people are mostly reacting towards tasks, projects, other things that people are expecting them to do or to deliver. And what's getting lost in that process is really understanding what do you want for yourself. Again, the question, who do you actually want to be in all of this? What's important for you to get out of this, to have achieved by the end of the year? Not what other people want you to achieve, not what other people are expecting of you, but what is it for you? What is your purpose? What is your vision? Many, many people that I talk to that I ask, what is your vision? They are telling me about expectations that are coming from the outside. And how do you know that you are steered by these expectations from the outside? You would be phrasing your vision or your wish or your desire, your goal, whatever you want to call it, by saying, I should, I have to, I need to. Those are these signal words that really imply that this is not what you want, but this is something that you feel you are obliged to do because society is expecting it of you, because your boss is expecting it of you, because your family is expecting. Whoever it might be, anyone from the outside, anyone who is not you. So when it comes to really centering yourself, as you said, Abba, the first step is to become aware of what it is that you want, not what you're supposed to do, what you should do, what you need to do.
I feel like that's exactly the challenge that you've just described. We are almost always, if you're working, full time, and maybe you're a mom, your plate is mega full and you're often running in fight or flight mode, right? And often for me, I have a big to-do list and I have my all my shoulds and musts. I always go by the fact that I need to finish my shoulds and my musts before I can think about what I want or where I want to go. And what I'm hearing is that's probably not the best way to get on with stuff. So actually, we need to reverse it and think about, what do I want? How is this going to help me and my vision for my future? Actually have the courage to step back from your to-do list and your must-do list and your should-do list and reevaluate, and then write your must-do, should-do list. Would that be the right way to go by it?
Absolutely. I think that this is a great way to look at it. And as you said, it all starts with that awareness. Also, which expectations come to us given the different roles that we are having. Yes, we are moms, first and foremost, actually. We are wives, we are daughters, we are probably sisters, we are friends, but we are also entrepreneurs or employees. We are probably leaders. We have so many roles during every single day, and all of these roles come with different expectations. So, of course, when we are writing our to-do lists, or I loved what you said, should-do lists and must-do lists, it's also about, okay, whose expectations are the most important? And when we are very honestly asking ourselves that, in the vast majority of times, we wouldn't say it's my expectations that are most important. No, it's my boss's expectations, or it's my client's expectations, or it's my children's expectations. But when we are listing our own expectations, we're probably rather towards the bottom of the list. So yes, sitting down and really identifying what is important for me to do or to achieve will actually also give us this piece of fulfillment. And it's this fulfillment that boosts our motivation and our happiness and our ability to then really work on those tasks that are not necessarily for us, that are still important for us to achieve. But once we know, yes, I have done this for myself and I feel that I have done something for my own fulfillment, that's the best foundation that you can have to tackle everything else that you need to do.
And I want to stress the importance here of actually doing this by yourself and not using ChatGPT to do it. Whilst it can be a great tool to bounce ideas off, we need to remember that it's not us. And it's very easy for it to get into our minds and maybe take us somewhere we really don't want to go. And I say this because I know so many people, and I'm guilty of it sometime too, of having these deeper conversations with a tool like ChatGPT to help us center ourselves. But sometimes, and this is something I have to tell myself too, I don't need something external to help me. It helps somebody professional could help me, but that is not ChatGPT, right? So I think it's very important to recognize this awareness and to actually take the time. Sans technology, if you have a mentor or a coach, it would be great to communicate with them and actually come to this vision and this list in a better way, I guess. But to make sure that this is a fully human approach. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, ultimately, when you consider ChatGPT is also an external source with, despite all of your input, another opinion that comes on top of it. So you will be influenced by whatever ChatGPT is telling you, even if it's based on all of the input, your own opinions, potentially even your own purpose statement or your values that you've been feeding into it. But it will never 100% meet the understanding that you have of what you want to achieve. So I definitely agree to that. All of the pre-work, all of that awareness should be done by yourself. But there's nothing wrong in then, for example, feeding that result of what you came up with into ChatGPT, and for example, then saying, okay, now this is what I want to integrate into the to-do list I already have. What do you suggest? So when it comes into execution, definitely a great way to put it into ChatGPT to bring a little bit more of, let's say, structure into it. But when it comes to such a personal topic like values, purpose statements, what is truly important to me, then you're the only one who can answer that.
Is there an exercise you can recommend that we do to kind of come up, or how would we do this? Like, do you have a few recommendations?
Yeah, so this is an excellent question because many people don't know where to start with this. So the first question that you can really ask yourself, and it sounds very easy, but it turns out it's not, is what do I really want? Many people that you ask, what do you really want, come up with something like success, the promotion, a higher salary, a house. I don't know, let it be the Porsche that I always wanted to buy. Allow me to just call that something that is rather superficial, because all of these things are just a means to an end. So what is the end that you really want? So when you are coming up with that first response, let's say, okay, you want to have that promotion. The question is, why do you want that promotion? Okay, maybe you want that because you get more salary. Maybe you want it because you want that recognition in your organization. Maybe it is because your family is expecting you. Here we go again with external expectations, right? And then you're asking yourself, why do you want that? So you go down that, let's call it funnel, with the very broad answer at the beginning, and then you go further down and down and down until you cannot answer that question again. Why do you really want that? Most likely at the very end of that funnel, you will find an answer like, I want to be fulfilled. I want to be truly happy. I want to build a legacy, whatever that would be. So that is something that you can then directly connect to your purpose. So what is your purpose in life? When you understood that, you can phrase your purpose statement. And then from that, we can take another look at your values. How do your values feed your purpose? And when you have this, that's a beautiful North Star that can help you to identify, how do I get there? All right, yes, maybe I do want that promotion, but ultimately what I really want is to become happy. So what else can I do to become happy? And the answer might be super simple. It might be something like, I just need a little bit more tranquility in the morning. That will make me happy. Having a coffee sitting outside, feeling the first rays of sunlight in the morning. Something like that. It doesn't always have to be something that comes from the outside. Those initial answers we give ourselves are oftentimes really based on external expectations. I want to have that Porsche. Why? Because it's a status symbol. When people see me drive a Porsche, they will have an opinion of me. They will think that I'm successful, that I have money, that I have achieved it all. Well, what makes that important to me? Why does it matter to me what other people think about me? Right? So that's a wonderful, very simple tool ultimately to just really ask yourself, what do I really want? Why do I want that? What's at the bottom of this?
You know, it's so interesting, and this is actually really funny because my background is advertising, marketing, communications, right? And in my world, we do this exercise for understanding our target audience. We say, do the 5 why exercise. We call it the 5 whys with your target audience. Like, what do they want? And then say, but why do they want that? But why do they want that? But why do they want that? Why do they want that? And then go to the end and really understand the root of why they want it. And then that's what you put your whole communication campaign around. But it's funny because I never thought of applying that to myself. So yeah, it's a very revealing exercise, and I've never done it for myself. I've done it for a target audience, like, who am I speaking to? What is their why? I actually never thought of doing it for myself. So it is something that you can do immediately. And it is It is simple. It's simpler to do it for somebody else. Like your Porsche example is very simple to explain. But when you do it for yourself, I think it can be challenging. So it's simple, and I think this is where we have to be willing to be very honest with ourselves and know that we don't have to share this with anybody, right? It's really for us. And I think when we realize that is when you can really be honest.
Mhm.
And I sometimes feel like we are afraid of our own honesty. Like, what will that mean? Right? So, yeah. No, that's a really good exercise. I'm going to do that today.
It's an excellent point that you made when it comes to being a little bit afraid of detecting what we really think about something, what we really feel about something. And again, that is oftentimes connected to, oh, when I feel this, what if other people know about this? What will they think about me? It's incredible how much we are influenced by the opinion of other people. And this is why it's even more important to allow ourselves to get to know us. What do we really want, regardless of what the world might be expecting of us? What really makes us happy? Maybe it's something that doesn't make anybody else happy, but does it matter? No, it doesn't, because ultimately I am looking for my own happiness. Not in a selfish way, but simply because it's one way to live a fulfilled life. I really don't believe that you can say I have a very fulfilled life if I don't experience happiness. But I need to understand what really makes me happy. And this is a topic that is so important to me. And this is why I am currently working on the second edition of my course. It's called MAP, Mindset, Awareness, and Progress, where I talk exactly about topics like these and then how you can turn your awareness into making the progress that you really want to make. So I'm looking at publishing this in early April. So I will keep you posted on this, but about whenever you're interested in knowing more about how to find out who you are and who you want to be, then you know that I'm always here to help you out with that.
No, and it's so great. And I'm so happy that you're actually building something around this, because we often don't have somewhere to tap into to get this guidance. Like this session or this podcast episode for me has now given me something actionable that I can do right away that could dramatically change my to-do list. Right? And all we needed to have was a 10-minute conversation. Right? So if you're building something that anyone can tap into to get this little bit of guidance that they need, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm so happy that you're able to share this in this session, and that whoever's listening, I hope you have got a little bit of guidance today on, if you're feeling a bit lost, what you can do immediately to center yourself. And this exercise can take you 5 minutes to do, it can take you an hour to do, but it's not very long. Maybe you do it on a walk. I think that's what I will do, So thank you for sharing this with us. And I'm so excited about your course coming up. So we will hopefully be the first to tell the audience that it's out, so that everyone can benefit from, multiple practices like this to help them in their day-to-day life. So thank you for listening, and we will see you again next month.